What's poppin', everybody? This is Saberwolf94. Today, I'm going to give you guys a comprehensive illustration as to why the regular Stage 2 and the regular Stage 1 Pokemon haven't been able to compete for quite some time on par with the special Pokemon, Vs, GXs, EXs, whatever, and why this is going to continue unless something really major changes in the game. Now, there have been exceptions to this rule, and we're going to touch upon them, but as a whole, the majority of the regular Stage 2s and Stage 1s, even the ones that we think, okay, this one has a solid attack, or this one can do this solid trick, or has decent HP compared to X Stage 2, they haven't really been able to compete. To start things off, I'm going to give you guys some examples of how power creep has affected normal basic Pokemon, Stage 1 Pokemon, Stage 2 Pokemon, and then the Rulebox Pokemon. So we have this Mudkip right here, this cute little Mudkip from EX Ruby and Sapphire. This is from 2003. 50 HP Pokemon, pretty cute, pretty nice, was okay. Back then it was the standard. Next up, we got a Mudkip promo from the XY era. I believe this is the artwork they chose to use in the McDonald's promo too. 60 HP. Attacks are pretty much basic too. Tackle for 10, Mudslap for 20. And then we got the latest Mudkip from Fusion Strike. 70 HP. Attacks don't really matter once again, but as you guys can see, the jump to HP isn't really impressive. And if you look at other basic Pokemon that can evolve twice, other starters, other Pokemon that have Stage 1, Stage 2s, like Salamence and whatever, the jump is pretty average. Maybe some of them are going to have 80 HP. Maybe some of them are even going to have worse HP, to be honest. Now, let's look at a few special Charizard cards. Charizard has been a very overprinted card because of its popularity. So we have this Charizard EX right here. Came in the Flashfire set. I believe it was around 2014 perhaps, XY era. 180 HP basic EX. It's going to give out two prizes. Now let's look at Charizard V. This Pokemon came out in Darkness Ablaze 2020, I believe, and it has 220 HP, so 40 HP difference, 40 HP more than Charizard EX, and this is also a card that's going to give out two prizes. So 40 HP difference over the span of, let's say, 6 years, between Charizard EX and Charizard V. And then the Mudkips that I showed you guys, the Mudkip from 2003, first EX Ruby and Sapphire set, to the Mudkip of Fusion Strike, really recent set, 20 HP difference. Much smaller HP improvement over a longer number of years. Now, it's the matter of how the attacks have been improved. I've got this Grotto right here from the latest set, Brilliant Stars. Does 50 for 3 energies. But then you look at the original Grotto from Diamond and Pearl from 2007, it also does 50 for 3. And the one in fucking Platinum does 60 for 3. Now you might say, dude, the Grotto from Brilliant Stars has a broken ass ability and it has more HP. But let's look at this example then. In the era of the Diamond and Pearl and Platinum Grotto, one of the best Pokemon, if not the best Pokemon, was Luxray Gia level X. 110 HP, a free retreat, a good attack, a good power. This Pokemon was the best card basically. It was the whole package. Now, with 110 HP, if your Grotto had 3 energies on and hit this Pokemon, you basically damage 50% of his health. So it's almost a 2-hit KO, and if you attack with a Platinum Grotto, it's a 2-hit KO basically. Now, if we do 50 damage on Arceus V-Star with the Stage 1s of today, like the Grotto from Brilliant Stars, what is this, like a 6-hit KO? You gotta attack with this Grotto 6 times to kill this Arceus V-Star? That's the difference. Now we go into the EX era for this example. Once again, a Marshtomp from Crystal Guardians, 2007, 50 damage for 3. Steelix EX from this AIM era. This is a Stage 1 EX Pokemon that's going to give out 2 prizes. It was part of the LBS BLS deck with Blastoise and Lugia. Very strong Pokemon. Could get 1-hit KOs, blah 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 blah. But 150 HP, Stage 1 EX. Going to give out 2 prizes. If you hit this Pokemon for 50 damage, you did 1/3. It's a 3-hit KO. Now you try to apply this logic into a V-Star that's basically the Stage 1 of our current metagame. Charizard V-Star, 280 HP, How many attacks are you going to need to KO this Pokemon? Never mind that these V-Stars have the V-Star power too. They have extra shit compared to the old EXs too. This isn't even going into VMAXs like Charizard VMAX, for example. When it comes to basic Pokemon that we're going to give out 2 prizes, again, we have Rayquaza EX here from EX Dragon. This Pokemon could essentially KO absolutely everything back then. If you had 3 or 4 energies, you did the job. 100 HP, basic EX Pokemon, gonna give out 2 prizes. You hit this dude with 2 attacks from Marshtomp, you were gonna KO it. Even if you were using subpar or weaker Pokemon, your hit would make more of a difference. Now you compare that to Zacian V, another basic Pokemon that's gonna give out 2 prizes. 220 HP. If you're hitting this dude for 50 damage, even like 80 damage, is it really the same? Not really. What about a stage 2? This quick shooting Inteleon from Chillin' Rain. This Pokemon is very popular because of the ability to put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon every turn. Of course, you evolve from Drizzly, which also has its perks. Stage 1, letting you grab a card. The Frog Engine, pretty much. But its attack, 70 for 2. Is it really going to do it? No. Once again, you would need to hit a VMAX, a V-Star, a regular V, whatever, up to 3 to 4 times to get the KO. Now we compare the regular Stage 2 Pokemon from the EX era with Stage 2 EXs from the same era. You got Swampert, 120 HP, Walrein EX here, 150 HP. A few of these EXs had 160 HP, but you weren't really getting more than that, unless there was an exception like Wailord, for example. So 30 to 40 HP difference. That's it. Now, you compare regular Stage 2 Pokemon from the Sun and Moon era, 150 HP, 160 HP perhaps, with the Stage 2 GXs with 250 HP. That's a 100 HP difference right there. Going into the Stage 1 GXs, which were Stage 1s with 200 HP, and the VMAXs, Tag Team GXs, and it's clear what type of Pokemon are really more favored. Those types of special Pokemon are more favored by design. Torterra from Brilliant Stars, which is a card that I used recently with a lot of difficulty, is what would be considered a good Stage 2 Pokemon today, like the best they're going to give us. 190 HP, and Evo Press can do a lot of damage if you put in the work and get a lot of evolution Pokemon out, and it still might not do the trick. Now, 190 HP, which is like the highest you can dream of on a regular Pokemon right now, still one hit KO'd by Zacian, still one hit KO'd by Eternatus, Arceus. Just name the Pokemon. There's probably a dozen different Pokemon, if not hundreds at this point, that can one hit KO this Pokemon with ease. Many of the strongest and most dominant Pokemon of their generations, like Luxray, let's say from the DP era, or Garchomp, or I don't know, you go into once again the EX era and you get the Stage 2 EXs like Blaziken and whatever, wouldn't be able to KO every single Stage 2 Pokemon in one shot, and many of them just couldn't anyway. With a few exceptions, once again, like Rayquaza, which were designed to get one-hit knockouts as long as you had enough energies, let's say. Now, people might tell me Luxchamp was designed to kill the small Pokemon super quick, and that's how you won, but that's not the point. The point is, once you got a Stage 2 Pokemon out, it would survive at least one decent hit. And if you look at the few regular Pokemon that could compete to some extent and did see a little bit of success against the special Pokemon since the Black and White era basically, I always give out the Empoleon example from Dark Explorers, I believe, got released as a secret rare shiny in one of the plasma sets, but had 140 HP, and back then it could take a hit and survive against a lot of different EX Pokemon. It worked with 1 energy, so it was cheap and easy to power up, and it had the broken ability, of course, that you discard a card and draw 2, like Zoroark GX. So it had a bunch of broken things at once. It's just all the combination of things necessary to even see a little bit of success, and it did. You look at another exception, like the Greninja and Greninja Break from the X and Y era. When they designed that line, those cards, they did everything they could to make those cards good. You had the Frogadier that basically fetched to all the other Frogadiers, so super consistent to get out your dudes as soon as possible. Greninja was broken as fuck. negating abilities through its attack. Very difficult effect to play around because it's an effect of an attack. And of course, Greninja Break did a lot of damage for free, and at a 170 HP Break Pokemon, it too perhaps could take a decent hit back then, especially when you had the ability negation sort of hindering your opponent. You go into the Sun and Moon era for a little bit. Alolan Exeggutor saw a little bit of success. It was a stage 1, 160 HP, maybe it could take a hit, it could survive a few decent attacks, and it could dish out decent damage for 1 energy, once again on the cheap, depending on the different types of energies you had in your discard pile. It's not a coincidence that all of the regular Pokemon that saw a little bit of success as Dex or as techs, such as Garbodor from Guardians Rising, if Garbodor needed like 2 or 3 energies to use his attack, you best believe it wasn't going to be as dominant as it was as a revenge tech late game. But all of these types of regular Pokemon, it's not a coincidence that they had all of these things in common. You know, attacking on the cheap, only needing 1 energy so that once the first stage 2 dies, like your previous Pokemon, you can just bring out the other one, attach 1 energy, you're ready to go. If you need more setup than that, then it's just too slow, you can't make it because your active Pokemon is always dying against these bigger Vs and GXs in one shot. They usually had a bunch of other broken effects in their arsenal, once again, like Empoleon or like Greninja, or if they didn't have that, they must have had at least something like Exeggutor with 160 HP that maybe they could have survived a hit. So if you got 2 attacks or even maybe 3 attacks out of them, then it gave you a little bit of an advantage against the special Pokemon that were going to give out more prizes. At least if you could take 1 shot and then attack 2 times, then it sort of made up for that. Now you might want to ask me, Saberwolf, why the fuck are things like this then? Why the fuck are the regular Pokemon getting the short end of the stick and all of the benefits going to the special rule box Pokemon? They get the best treatment. I mean, I can only give out my theory as to why things are the way they are, and to put it quite simply is the special types of Pokemon are just more marketable, and by their design and by their creation, they're supposed to be like more special. You know, over the top artwork, belonging into a special subgroup like, you know, EX, this is Charizard EX, not just regular Charizard, GX, V, whatever. And once again, it's like it puts a title on these cards that these cards are special, these cards are hot. Kind of like when you have like a singer or a band and it's a bunch of hot chicks or hot dudes or a hot girl singer or a hot dude singer. I mean, it's good if they're a great singer, but if they're attractive or handsome too, then it's just a bigger bonus. I don't really have any other better way to explain it. I mean, they want to push a mechanic so that it seems like shit is hot and new and fresh, even though the Pokemon TCG and all TCGs just recycle their mechanics over and over and kind of disguise that in a way with different subgroups. Like now we got the V stars, the Vs, before it was GXs, EXs, whatever. And if they're trying to push, you know, the new shit and the new special cards, they gotta make them the best pretty much. Now, of course, in some ways, the regular Pokemon have seen some slight improvements over the year. Like this Torterra is a whole different animal than a Torterra from the DP days, let's just say. But by their design, they are not meant to be top tier. They are objectively not in the same league. As I explained with the Power Grip examples, the special Pokemon just improve and get stronger much quicker, and the regular Pokemon only see slight improvements. And this is why, if you guys think that I always ask his Gen 4 and the EX era, they had some issues too. The EX era is the closest thing to the perfect TCG era for Pokemon, but I could also point out a few negative things like not having basic metal and darkness energies back then, which we should have. But for the most part, all of the cards belong together. Like you could clearly see, okay, these cards are from this era, this AIM era. They belong together. The special Pokemon from the Sword and Shield era, the Sun and Moon GX era, perhaps even the XY Black and White EX era, don't really belong together with the regular ass Pokemon. It's like they're in a different league. And if you want more proof that things are a clusterfuck, if you remove all of the special Pokemon from, let's say, the Sword and Shield era and the GX Pokemon in the GX era, and you just use the stage 2 and the normal Pokemon by themselves, you're going to notice that these Pokemon, 150 HP, 160 HP stage 2s, they can dish out crazy ass damage under the right conditions. Like, for example, the single strike Cinderace that I like to use with Houndoom. They could dish out extreme overkill damage under the right conditions. That doesn't really match with the HP they have, the regular Pokemon. But they try and give them these slightly crazy attacks that you could pull off, like Torterra and Cinderace. And there's a few other Stage 2 Pokemon that could maybe do some high damage, like Luxray or Salamence, if you get that perfect setup. But they give them these sort of slightly extreme attacks because if they don't even have that, they wouldn't be able to do absolutely anything against the Vs and the VMAXs and any other special Pokemon. But the fact of the matter is, they do not have the HP to take hits themselves. So if you're going to be a Stage 2 Pokemon that's going to be dying every turn, you're stuck in this cycle that, okay, I need to be getting one hit KOs myself every turn, or I gotta always be able to attack on the cheap with like one energy attachment or like a DC or something. Otherwise, I can't keep up. But anyways, I went all over the place with this rant, but you can just do the research for yourself. There's plenty of examples and card comparisons you can make. And if you do a little bit of research and you check up on things, you're gonna see that the power creep just isn't distributed evenly. The special Pokemon just get stronger and stronger much quicker, and then the regular Pokemon struggle more to catch up. What's even crazier is that in the first place, you need so much more setup to get these Stage 2 regular Pokemon out. And once again, you're going to notice that the Stage 2 and the regular Pokemon that somehow, some way, manage to be a little bit good or even stand a little bit of a chance, they're just forced to print for them cards that give them that special boost, like these Stage 1 Pokemon that just let you grab everybody. It was the Gabite from Dragons Exalted for Garchomp. When they were trying to push those cards, we had Grovyle, I believe, that did a similar thing. We had other Stage 1s that did a similar thing. Right now it's Grottle with Frogadier, once again with Greninja. You could use Frogadier to get a bunch of the Stage 1s out, and they just gotta push them and give them these extra little tricks to boost their speed, because otherwise, if they don't have them, they just can't compete. Like, even worse than they already can't, because they already can't compete anyway. Alright, end rant. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or if you disagree with me. I mean, for the most part, it's just facts. Like, we can go into deeper discussion as to why they do this or why the game ended up the way it is, but I just don't think it's cool that only the special Pokemon can shine. I mean, you open up a booster box and it's bad enough the ratios are pretty average compared to back in the day, at least, with these large ass sets with so many cards, and boxes and products were even more expensive than back in the day too. But you try and open up a box, you find all of these regular ass hollow Pokemon, Stage 2, Stage 1s, whatever, and at best they can be like support Pokemon, like Barrel, just letting you draw cards, or in the case of Inteleon, just support Pokemon, giving you that spread damage, and just have a support role basically. It's extremely rare that you're going to be able to say, okay, I'm going to make a deck based around the Stage 2, and it's going to be good. Like, it has to be maybe like an anti-meta Pokemon, like fucking Decide-Eye, and even that card wasn't good. It's not good in my opinion. You can just easily play around it. But outside of anti-meta, just building a regular Stage 2 deck and saying, okay, I'm going to use this hollow Pokemon, it can be kind of cool. It can work, it can compete. Very rare and very difficult. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What a